Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about tools, all of the tools that I like to use and that I have in my stash here. Some of them are duplicates, some of them are not necessary, some of them are luxury items. I think tools, when you use them as a crafter or a maker, it really depends on the things that you craft and make, what kinds of things you will need to make that make sense. If you're somebody who likes to paint, obviously you'll need some paintbrushes. If you're somebody who doesn't like to paint, a paintbrush isn't going to be a good tool for you. So it really just depends on the things that you like to craft and how you work. So let's dig in and go through all of these tools that I have here. The first thing I want to mention is a paper trimmer. This one is always my go-to and my favorite. I'm going to do a video on trimmers because there's so many out there, and it's really dependent on the crafter and the maker again, which one they like and prefer. This is my go-to. No matter what trimmer I buy, I always wind up going back to this one. I'm kind of a Fiskars girl, and we'll see that as we go along here. Years ago, Fiskars had a program called Fiskateers, and I was a proud member of that, and they sent me these awesome scissors, and ooh, they need some cleaning, but somewhere on here it has my awesome Fiskateer number, and it always made me so happy when I see these scissors and can use them. They are engraved, yeah, right here. Fiskateer number 2733, that is me. So anyways, scissors are another thing that I think are really important to have no matter what kind of craft that you do. If you're a person who does fabrics, you definitely want a dedicated set of ribbon and fabric scissors because paper will dull them out, especially if you're a person who uses them like this to rough up the edges of your paper. It really does dull them. But scissors are a good investment no matter where you get them, because if you get a nice pair, you can always have them sharpened, which is a huge plus. Don't forget to use those coupons at the craft stores and buy a good pair of scissors. They will really make it handy. This style is nice. I like for using bigger things. This is my ribbon pair. I usually use that just for ribbons. And then these are also by Fiskars. I think these are pretty old ones. I like to use these for just about everything. You'll see me grab them constantly. I also have a couple of other pairs of scissors I like to use. These ones are my Tim Holtz ones. I use these for things that are a little more difficult to cut. I like that they have a nice blade on them like this. They're kind of fine point. The new ones now come with a black handle, so if you're looking for those, I'll link some things down in the comments below, the description box below, so you can find some of these things. Just as a disclosure, I do use some affiliate links, so if you click on my link, it will help me earn some percentage off your purchase, but won't cost you anything extra. So, okay, so moving on. These ones I like. These ones are one by Tonic. Tonic is a really great brand for scissors. Again, these are really sharp scissors. You can see the blade here. It cuts through just about anything I want to cut through. So I save these for the tougher things like thin metals, chipboard, wire, that kind of thing. So I know it's not going to hurt my delicate scissors. These ones, like I said, are kind of my go-to everyday scissors. These are by Fiskars. I really like that they have this grip on them. You pull them like this to open them. They've got a nice fine tip point for doing all of your detail cutting, which is really great. One of my other go-tos for some, I guess everybody calls it fussy cutting, not my favorite term, but whatever, doing your delicate cutouts. These ones are by Mrs. Grossman, and you can see they do have a really fine tip on them. They're really sharp. They fit pretty good in your hand. I've apparently need to clean them because they've got adhesive on them. But anyways, those are the scissors in my stash. There's tons of scissors on the market out there. So figure out what works best for you. I know some people, if they're left-handed, some of these, grippier ones are better. Or some people prefer a handle like this with no circles like this. This one, like I said, is kind of my go-to. You'll see it in a lot of my videos. I just grabbed this one. It's a nice size. It's very lightweight, and it cuts through just about everything with that nice sharp point. I don't use this for like wire or metals or chipboard, that kind of thing. Just kind of use it for my everyday paper. The next thing I would suggest is a paper punch. And paper punch, you can get these. This one just came from the Dollar Tree. So depending on what you're going to be doing, You know, hole punch is good for bookmarks or punching holes in your paper for your ring binders. You can also use a 3-hole punch if that's what you're doing for binders, ultra books or whatever. If you don't really know what you're going to be doing, the Crop-a-dile is really an essential tool for me because I am a metals girl. I love everything metal as far as embellishments, and this does your eyelet setting without a hammer, which is wonderful. I do also have another video on just this tool here and how I use it, but for me it has a smaller punch up here, and then it has, if you flip it around, it has the bigger punch, so you're actually getting 2 hole punches in one tool, which is really great. And then it sets your eyelets. So for me, this is a 3-way tool because you get 3 different uses out of it. The punch on this is so amazing. You can punch through a whole magazine, and it's just wonderful. It punches through chipboard, it punches through just about everything. I did actually have one break when we went to fair. I was a 4-H leader for a lot of years and had a kid use it on some Lexan plastic, so it doesn't work for that. It did fit in here, but that was just too strong of a material for it. Just about everything else though, plastic, cling wrap, acetate, chipboard, fabric, whatever you want to punch, as long as it fits in here and it's not too terribly strong like Lexan. This is an item that's really good to get with your coupons. You can get 40% off sometimes. You can watch for them to be on sale. I will link it in the description box below so you can pick one up that way too if you'd like. Some of the other things that I like to use are a corner rounder. This one came from Creative Memories, so you just put your paper in there and it rounds. This is not an essential item, but it definitely gives your projects a different look to them. We Are Memory Keepers also makes them as well. They make these in a couple different handles. The reason they do that is because you get 2 different designs, one on each side here. And again, these will cut through some stronger items. This one is really better for just your paper. But if you're gonna maybe be doing some chipboard, like you want to round the corners of a album cover or whatnot, We Are Memory Keepers definitely makes a strong, long-lasting tool. And they guarantee them. I had one that broke and they replaced it for me. So that was a really nice customer service thing too. One of the other things I use a lot is one of these little pokey tools. So it has like a really sharp poke there. If you don't want to use a hole punch for like putting in your mini brads, that's really what I use this for. Sometimes I use it for ribbon if I just want to poke a quick hole. I can poke it anywhere on the page that I want and then put my brad in. Now this has this other side here. Sometimes I use that for rub-ons, but it actually is to smooth your brads out. Probably other makers have a million other uses for it too. This one is really sturdy made and fits nicely in your hand, and you have good control. It comes with this great cover, so keeps everything safe since that's a nice sharp point. Now if you don't want to buy this one, I think it runs for like $4 or $5. I've seen it at Tuesday Morning, but some of those locations are closing. You can also get it online. I'll link some in the description down below as soon as I can find them. This one came actually from the Dollar Tree, so it has a nice sharp point on here, and then this other side I use as a rub-on tool, or you could use it as like a palette knife or whatever. Sometimes if you don't have this tool, again, this one came from Dollar Tree, but you can use like a tack, like a hanging tack that will poke holes for you pretty easily. So that's nice to have. This is another way that it comes as well. This came from Tuesday Morning, and it has 2-sided here. This one's not my go-to because it kind of disappears in my little tool rack that I have, so not my favorite. Actually, I guess it's just one end. I don't know. This one, like I said, not my favorite, but it definitely does get the job done. So whatever one you can find and have handy, that, you know, the best tool is the one you can find and use. This one is another pokey tool. This is one of the Cricut tools. And so I really like this one because, like, if you're doing vinyl or trying to pick your adhesive strips off, this really helps to do that. You can also poke holes just like those other ones. Again, I have a lot of duplicated tools. It's just over the years of crafting, 25 years of crafting and owning a store, I've come into a lot of different variety of tools. Pick the ones that work best for you or that you can easily get a hold of and put in your stash, that's what's going to be best for you. The next thing I like to have next to me is some tweezers. These ones are serious tweezers. These ones came with my Mrs. Grossman's scissors. You can see they both have the Mrs. Grossman's logo here. And I think these were in a set like many years ago, but they've lasted in my stash for over the years. These tweezers are super sharp. So they're really good for grabbing little pieces, like if you're doing rhinestones or sequins or maybe little tiny flowers, or if you're paper piecing, this is really great. You can just grab the items that you need. The downside to these, I guess it's kind of a downside and kind of a plus. They're really sharp. So if you're using paper to paper piece or whatnot, sometimes it will poke a hole that you might not want. Plus side of this, you can poke a hole if you really want. So it's kind of two tools in one. So it just depends on how you want to use them. Tweezers for crafting come in all kinds of a variety here. These ones are by the Crafter's Companion, and they came in a set as well. You can kind of see them here. I usually will use these ones because they're not quite as sharp as those Mrs. Grossman's one that I have. And so if I'm trying to hold paper or manipulate some things around while I'm gluing or whatnot, I will grab these ones. These other ones aren't my favorite. This one, I just can't quite grasp my mind around. Press it down here to open it. Every time I think press it down is to close it, like these ones. So you press it and it closes, press and close, press and close. These ones is backwards, so you press it to open it and then don't have to, and it'll just hold it like this. So whatever works best for you, there is literally tools for everyone out there. One of the other things I like to have handy is a X-Acto knife or craft knife. There's a lot of them out there. I have a Tim Holtz one somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. On this stylus, there's also one here. Oh, nope, that's a pokey tool. Okay, I guess I don't have that one out here. But this is always my go-to one. This one's a super old one. It's just the X-Acto brand. I like the curve of it and how I hold it, and when I'm doing fine detail work, it works really great. A lot of them, the way most people are used to seeing them is like this. This works fine too. It might be better for some people depending on how you like to hold it while you're cutting. I use this to cut out different shapes or patterns, or if I need my paper cut in just the right place, a little piece cut out, that's great too. So X-Acto knife is handy. You know, if you go looking through your house, you might have some of those. Now, when I was talking about this other tool for rub-ons like this, to just do your rub-ons. I do have a video on rub-ons. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, make sure you check that out. A lot of times the rub-ons will come with a wooden popsicle stick, and that's okay too if that's what you like to use. I personally don't prefer this, and this tool here is just $1 and works great. If you don't have this tool and you don't want to use the popsicle stick, a lot of crafters will use just the base of their scissors to just rub on those rub-ons, and that works great too. So just try to look at your tools at how you can get the most out of them and keep going from there. So I also oftentimes will use hole punches. The round ones are really great to have. I often use these for backs if I'm making paper clips, or to punch out little ephemera from paper, like maybe I just want a small design or a piece of it. This one came from Creative Memories. I wasn't a huge Creative Memories user, but I did like their tools. Their tools always were very sturdy and very great to use. This one comes with 3/4 punch and a 1-inch punch. They do make them in other brands and other sizes and styles too, so you can also get them in thinlit die cuts if you have a die cutter. So if that's what you like to use, go for that. Again, the most important part about tools is what you are able to afford and get a hold of. I would also suggest a good tool to have is a glue gun. You can get, this one is just a cheap one. I think it was like $3 or $4 at Walmart. And I plan to do another video on adhesives, so we won't get too much into that, but this is always right at my side here while I'm crafting. I really love this tiny attacher from Tim Holtz. It's puts small staples in things, so it really kind of gets into the little nooks and crannies and can staple a really small staple, which is kind of nice. You can use a regular stapler. You can use whatever you have. I also will sometimes use my Teresa Collins one, which I don't know where it is right now. But it's a lot like this one, just a regular size staple. So a stapler is also nice to have. Staples ribbons, staples ephemera and embellishments onto your pages while you're crafting. That's really great. These are styluses. This one actually has a poker attachment on this side, so that's kind of nice, a 2 for 1. I think these came as a set from We Are Memory Capers. A stylus is pretty nice to have if you're using like a scoreboard or whatever and you don't want to use your bone folder. You can rub it down like this. You could use it for rub-ons. You can use it for dry embossing, a lot of different things. If those aren't things that you craft with, this isn't something that would benefit you. If you are trying to learn some new things, or you are a person who uses scoring a lot and want to do dry embossing, these are really handy to have. While we're talking about scoring, I use the ScorePal scoreboard here. There's a lot of different ones on the market. This is always the one I go back to. Some of them, the reason that they're different will be the measurements that they have across the top here. Some of them have more, some of them have less, some of them are laid out differently. Most of them come with a bone folder, and you'll put your paper on the platform here at the measurement that you need, and you'll score it like this, and it makes a nice divide line. Then you can also use your scoring tool or your bone folder like this one, and just press down your creases really nice and firmly. So that's a nice plus to have. If you're a card maker, it works really great. If you like making little boxes or embellishment, things like that, you'll use a scoreboard a lot. And it's in a lot of videos on YouTube today. A lot of crafters will use these. This one, it's actually kind of funny. Heidi Swap makes this. It's a paper distresser. Like I said, some people will use their scissors. I would not use these scissors, but some people might use them like this and just run their paper over like this, and it kind of makes a rough edge. That's what this little guy is designed to do, but I've been told that this is a vintage tool that's no longer being made, but really it just has a little razor blade in there and it runs across the paper. So you can find other ways to do this. I think the Craftwell, or no, the company that does Bind It All does a Distress It All, and it's like a little thing you run your paper through and it distresses it. So there's a lot of other options for distressing paper too. I use these a lot. You'll see me use this one a lot. This is a blending tool from Tim Holtz, and then this is just a blending brush. This is for inks. If you're not an inker, this won't be an essential tool for you. I like to put ink on just about everything, and before I had these blending tools, I would often just take my ink and run it across the edges of the paper. If that's all you do, you don't really need a blending tool, but if you're a person who wants to put your blending tool in the ink and make it blend across your paper, that's what you'll use this for. They come with little different tips, so once this one wears out, or if you have a different color, you just peel this off and put a new one on. These work wonderful with all of Tim Holtz inks, and a lot of other brands of inks too, so it just depends on what you like to do. Lastly, some pens. This isn't my whole pen stash, but some that I definitely go to a lot. I'm a COPIC colorer, so I love to do COPIC creations. I'm hoping to make some videos for you guys soon so you can see my COPIC coloring. COPIC markers are alcohol markers, and they really blend well. So those are really fun for artists that like to color or make comic books, or if you like to do paper pieces or cards, whatever, digital prints, and you can color them. It's really fun. A silver Sharpie is one of my go-tos. I sometimes will edge things with this, or I'll doodle with this, or I'll add little borders. Really fun. I love the silver color. Adds a little sparkle. It's great. Some Jelly Roll pens are really fun. I often grab the white one, and I will add little extra white decorations to my letters and titles and the trim of my papers and borders. This one's a gold one. They have them in tons of colors, and some of them even with glitter, and I'm totally a glitter girl. Lastly is a micron pen. I know some people use a fine tip Sharpie, and that's totally fine too. I really like the micron ones for when I'm doing my journaling or any fine writing, that kind of thing, or outlining. It does have a really fine tip and is a great way to add some extras to your layouts. So, or whatever it is that you're making or crafting. I hope this gives you guys a good insight to some of the tools that are out there. Again, tools are so variable for each crafter. Everybody has their own preferences. And like I said, depending on the things that you do, there will be different things that you might need. Like when I'm working with my inks, I also like to have a spray bottle. Tim Holtz has an awesome distress sprayer. So I'll use that, and then I use this glass media mat that's under here that you'll see in a lot of my videos. That really helps to do a lot of the distress inking. He has a huge list of really great videos on all of his distress products. So if that's something that you're into, look up Tim Holtz on Facebook, and he did some amazing demos on Saturdays while everyone was in quarantine. It was so amazing, and I just love his work, love his products. Can't tell you enough how much of a Tim Holtz fan I am. Anyways, enough on that. Again, I hope this shows you guys some variety of tools, and you'll know what some of the things are that I'm using in my videos from now on. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, like it, share it, do all of that good stuff. It really helps me to keep going and growing my channel. And I will do my best to link some of these things in the description box below for everybody. So until next time.